Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and this is Redstone Potato, and look at what I just landed on. This is my latest contraption, and it's called, well, you'll probably know what it is just by seeing these blocks here. It's called a chorus fruit farm, and yeah, it's a very simple one. It's one that doesn't blow up into the sky just a million blocks. It's ridiculous. Those ones are pretty ridiculous. But this one, all it takes is chorus fruit and your fist, and you're done. And a lot of this is not necessary, but I've added it for the design. I know it looks pretty ugly, but that's mostly because I just used cobblestone up here so that all the items don't go flying everywhere. If I was to click this, you see things start happening, and if you look at that, you can just see it moving. You might not be able to see it because of YouTube compression. So let me turn my volume down for a second. Yeah, so all you need to do is place it down and break it. But because I'm in creative mode, it won't work. And one thing about this is that it will, a lot of these designs will go up into the sky, and then you'll lose your chorus fruit, and they create like 400,000 items an hour. But not many people need that kind of items, because then they use it once and they're done, and they've got enough to last them forever. Well, in a lot of cases, forever, because not many people use purple. But this design, you just aim below. If you see the little hitbox, like the little hitbox or the collision box of the chorus, the chorus stem, you just gotta aim there. So you press place and you press break at the same time, and as you can see, I'm still staying on 54 chorus flowers, as you can see down the bottom there. Yeah, this thing, when you place down the chorus flower, it will instantly grow because of the zero tick trick that works in this update. And as you can see, I've already got a little bit of flowers, but I'm going to actually throw those out of my inventory, so you can see how fast this thing is. This thing creates 7,500 items per hour. So you've got to make sure you get the right angle. You got to be able to break them both, but only place one at a time. And as you can see, but the one thing with this design is it does work with an axe, but it makes it a little less reliable. What happens is you'll break them both too fast. So then sometimes you'll be placing your flower and just breaking it instantly. That's why if you're going to use an axe, the only axe you can use is probably an iron axe or below, because otherwise it's just too fast. As you can see, I've got haste 2 at the moment, which is probably one of the best, because I've got haste 2 at the moment. I've just applied that to myself to show you that with haste 2, this creates around 8,400 items per hour. And it's not the fastest design, I'll admit. There's probably thousands of other designs out there that are faster than this, but those ones are ugly. They're the ones that go 300 blocks into the sky. And as you can see, just from in the time I was describing that, I got 22 of these. You cook those up into popped, and then you would get 5 blocks, and that's from like a minute. 5 blocks a minute. If you were to go to lunch or something and do this, take you 20 minutes, and then you're back, and you've got like a stack. And yeah, I don't know. This design, it looks really clean when you got it off, but you flick that, and these aren't necessary. Exactly, like you need to have no blocks here, so there is a chance that when you break that chorus flower, that your item can land in those spots. Oh no, that landed on the thing, but I'll show you in a second when it happens. It's not very common. I've got creative mode at the moment, so it doesn't really bother me, but as you can see, I just picked one up from there. I don't know if you saw that on YouTube, but I picked one up just from there, and I don't know. That's why you have these pistons, because they push the items onto this middle bit, and that's why you stand on the slab as well. Because then you can place, break, and everything lands in the middle, and you're still picking everything up, and you're not losing anything. And if you're wondering why I did start with 53 and I've gotten down a bit now, that's because of when I've been like getting the wrong angle and stuff. Because you do have to get a particular angle to break this, and then place that. And then you have to be able to break them. But if you are aiming upwards like this, and you are placing at the same time, you'll just be breaking and placing this thing over and over and over and over, as you can see here. Which means that items will be going in here, you'll be placing them, then you'll be losing items. You don't want to be losing items, because that's the whole point of a farm, is to get items as quick and without any effort. So, I'm going to be showing you how to build this thing. And minus that 54 that we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that was 10. There you go. We got 32 in probably a minute and a half, which is 8 blocks. To me, that's fast enough for what I need. And the main reason I built this was for Tiger Jamosh on the Endercraft server. As if you've watched my Endercraft tour, you'll know about the Endercraft server. And yes, there is another video coming in the future, despite what my comments said on that video. Well, no, on the video that was before that, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'm gonna be building this. Let me do / game. No, not game. Okay, game mode 1, and this thing is extremely simple. I'm gonna tear it back to the bare bones for you. You kind of still need these blocks. These aren't. If you want to see the redstone and stuff, you need to use glass or something here, because the whole point of these being here is so that the items don't get glitched into the pistons and then drop down, or like get behind the pistons. And the more items you get, the better. In a way, you could have a system where it pushes the items that land in those areas in, but then you need a system that will detect those ones, and then those ones, and then those ones. The only way to make it 100% reliable would be make it bulky. This is, as you can see, it's not 100% reliable, but I've done the testing and made it. From what I can tell, this thing is, well, I ran this thing for 5 hours, and I got, like, I got 5 hours on the original design, and then I made this one faster, and as you can see, that thing turns off, and I really like that fact that it just closes off, because it looks a lot better, looks a lot nice, and, like, a lot cleaner. And yes, you do need to have these, like, a gap in these areas just here. You can't fill those in if you don't care about what happens, because otherwise the chorus flower, when it grows, will end up. Otherwise, when the chorus flower grows, it will kind of like just die just there, and it won't actually grow, which is obviously not what you want. And yeah, so I'm gonna be showing you how to build this probably in just a minute. I haven't seen any downsides with this design other than it's quite a bit slower than those big designs that go from like the base of the world to sky limit. And I'm just going to be showing you how to build it up here. That's the only downside to this design, and it fits within a very compact space, I believe. It fits within a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block area, and this redstone's more for the upper bit. So if you don't want this bit, which I'm just going to be showing you how to add on afterwards, then it's only a 1, 2 high. Isn't that great? Because you don't even need blocks here. In a way, you don't need them if you don't care about efficiency, but this thing isn't the fastest in the world, so losing a few items can make a fair difference. Sorry, about that. Yeah, haven't been feeling the best at the moment. Yeah. So, I'm just going to be showing you how to build this thing up here, and it's only 4 wide, minus these pistons up here. So I'm going to be showing you how to build that. So it's pretty much a 5x4 area, which I believe is quite compact, because I've seen other ones that do the same thing, where they just push the blocks over and over, like this one, to make the 0 tick. And it really doesn't do, and it really doesn't, like, the other ones were a lot bigger. I know one of them, actually, you could see a lot of the redstone, and I didn't like that design, so I thought it was too big and bulky, and the ones that go up to the sky use systems like where you actually lose chorus flowers, and I want a design where you don't lose chorus flowers. You get as many chorus flowers as possible, which this thing you don't lose any as long as you put yourself in the right angle and don't move while going AFK. And it worked 100% from what I can see, because from my testing I haven't lost many items. I've seen, because I left a system with lots and lots and lots and lots of hopper minecarts everywhere, like down below this thing, and I had 6 items after those 5 hours that I told you about. 6 items over 5 hours. Most people are only going to be going AFK for probably, I don't know, 8 hours if you're going to go overnight, which means that you're going to be getting a lot of items. A lot of items. I think that your average person can get over the fact that they've lost like 9 items in 8 hours. Your average person, yeah, I reckon you can. But all I need to do now, so this is just your piston layout. You don't need, you need a few materials. You're obviously going to need 4 observers, 4 sticky pistons, 2 redstone dust. No, wait. No. I'll just go down here and check. These I'm not counting into it because they're not really part of it. The redstone dust, you only need 5, and you need 2 repeaters. Really quite simple. Actually, you actually need about 6 redstone dust, actually, because I was wrong. I'm gonna have an item list in the description anyway, so if you just want to, copy that onto a folder and then just, rerun it, and you do need this does need to be a redstone lamp, so if you haven't gotten to the nether yet, which I don't know how you would have gotten to the end and gotten the endstone without going to the nether, but I don't know, some people are like that. And yeah, so you need your pistons like this, where you've got one facing into that block and one facing into this block. You need piston, and you do that on both sides, with these 2 facing into each other, these 2 facing away from each other. You have an observer coming out of the block with that redstone dust on it, which comes out of a redstone lamp, and you put an observer right there. Put a redstone dust just there, and you'll see that makes a clock. If you don't want this thing running permanently, which most people don't, because it is quite loud, you can just add a lever, like I had down there, and it should work perfectly fine. You should just turn it off, and it works 100%. And when you turn it off, when you turn it back on, turn the redstone dust off, this will observe it and create the clock going again. So you have your redstone dust there, you have your repeater there, and you have your dust like that, another repeater there, and a observer going there. You'll see that might knock you off. Probably you won't have void below you, so it shouldn't bother you guys too much. You can stand here if you really want to. Doesn't really matter, because it doesn't matter where you place it, you just have to make sure it's facing into the sticky pistons. All these repeaters are on 1 tick. This redstone dust on here, obviously it shouldn't be on when this farm is off. And yeah, so you place a block there, and then place one out. So this thing does push into the next block, so it's not exactly 6, so it's not exactly 5 wide, but which makes it 7 wide. Which I'm not too fussed about, because it is only there for like a second, and I'm sure you can slot this thing anywhere. It's just about pocket sized. Yeah. And this 0 tick, I found this 0 tick on a video somewhere, and the one downside about this design. See this one? And you see how I build this in 4 different directions? With this design and this design, if you look at it, if I go down here and flick this lever, no, didn't flick it, flick that lever, you'll see the blocks are getting moved over and over. They're getting moved over, then over, then over, then over, then over. I'll do that over and over again. And if I could just reach that lever, I didn't have one on top, I might do that in a second. You do that, but if I was to flick the same lever on this one, you'll see that it's not doing it right. What's it supposed to be doing, you might say? It's supposed to be doing what that one does, and shift the blocks across and across. So this thing only works in it facing east. So when you're standing on that slab facing this block down here, you're facing east. Or if you're standing on that slab, which I haven't got on this one, which would be, by the way, sitting just above that, and facing west. It doesn't work in any other direction for some reason, and I'll show you. I'll turn that one off because it's loud, and I'll show you this one. Still doesn't do it. Sometimes it will, like right at the start of when you start it up, it does it. But see, as you saw there, it shifted them over, but it still didn't do it properly. So it would. It's just not meant to work in these two directions, in north and south. It doesn't work. East and west, it works perfectly. I've done multiple counts of testing in my Redstone testing mill, which you would have seen in the last couple of videos with tutorials in them. And all you need now, really, like this is most of the redstone done. All you need is a Endstone. Well, an Endstone if you want to do correct English. And you just stand there, and that's pretty much the entire thing done. And it should shift the blocks around, as you can see. I could build this thing another 30 times in facing east or west, and it will still work. If it doesn't work for you guys, then try it in the north-south position, because the tutorial that I watched for these 0 ticks said it only worked east-west. Which, oh no, said it only worked east-west. But then when I tested it in my Redstone testing mode, it only worked north-south. But then I tried it in a different position. So when you're doing it north and south, I think it's positional. I haven't done that kind of extensive testing, but from my testing I've done, this thing works pretty well, and it works 100% east-west. So I'm going to be showing you how to add in the other circuitry now. Obviously you can't have a block there, but you can completely surround this thing, other than these blocks here. And if you want, you can have the door here. You don't have to have that door that I had down there, and it should work perfectly fine. As you can see, the redstone's flush with the floor, so you don't exactly need all this stuff up here. You can make it so everything just bounces off up the top, and like you can have, I don't know, you could try having some hopper minecarts around picking items up that bounce off, and then you're picking up the ones that don't. But I don't know, I liked having the system that will, I like to have this system that will grab your items for you. Well, it will help you collect the items. It makes it less automatic in a way. Well, more automatic, sorry, not less. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired from the last video, because I did just make that one last night. And yeah, as you can see, that'll get powered, but this will keep depowering. So you just run that out 3 blocks, then you run it up 1, and break out these 2 blocks, and you have some blocks like this, because you may have thought that was just going to power that. No, not that simple. We're going to be having a system, because the best way of making this thing more efficient is to completely and utterly surround these pistons in blocks. Might sound like it could come out a bit ugly, but you don't have to do it with the bottom pistons, just these top ones, because then it will make it more efficient. Now, to show you guys where the redstone's going to be going, I'm going to be using these blocks just here, the iron blocks. You don't have to use iron blocks, that's why I built this one out of cobblestone, and that'll power them all, what I just built there. As you can see, you need to have your block there, and I don't know, you can power this any way you really want. You can just like run a big line going up to it. I kind of like the idea of using, because you can't actually run this thing into a torch tower, because it is a 1-tick pulse, and a 1-tick pulse will not go up a torch tower. The best you can do is a 1.5-tick pulse, but that starts getting things too complicated for well, at least for me. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. makes it a bit too complicated. And the best to make this at the moment, these are going to be 0 ticked, and as you see, it won't reach. So in the one down here, I made it so it will reach. Doesn't really matter because of the 15 signal, and you just place a repeater there, and that should fix it pretty much. If I go check the other side, that one's out and that one's in. These have to be alternated. So with this sticky piston, the block has to be out. This sticky piston, the block's in. And as you can see, you get that nice little flush room. And this tutorial is getting quite long now, but yeah. So for some reason this isn't turning off, and that's because of bud powering. If this does happen to your one, all you have to do to fix it is to place some slabs above the blocks with the pistons and beside them too, and it should work perfectly fine. Redstone dust, redstone dust, redstone dust, and it should power 100% fine. As you can see, these are getting powered and it's all working perfectly fine. They're all powering at the same time, and I'll show you how it works now. I'll show you how this one works. This one will work exactly the same as the other one. All you do is you stand in the position, you aim down towards there. Let me do /game mode 0, and yeah, so even if you've only got the one chorus flower, and yeah, try not to do that. Try to have one chorus fruit already in your inventory, and that actually teleported me down below the other one. But yeah, /game mode 1, it's better to have at least 2 in your inventory, because the 3 is the ideal, because then while you're picking one up, you still got 1 in your inventory and 1 placed down, which is quite ideal, I've noticed. So, but it does work with 2 and 1. You just have to make sure you've already got chorus fruit, chorus fruit in a different slot in your inventory, so you don't put it into that spot, and make sure that it doesn't end up in that spot, otherwise you will break it. And as I said, if I go into /game mode 0, it should work perfectly fine for me, and I'm getting plenty of chorus fruit. This thing, as I said, not the fastest design in the world. There's plenty of faster designs, but it works. And that's all I needed to do was build a design that works for me. And as you can see, you keep picking up the items. That was 5 from like 10 seconds. And to me, that's plenty fast, because I'm not going to be building with these blocks too many whenever I build this farm on the Endercraft server, and I believe when Tiger Jamosh builds it on the Endercraft server, he's going to be using quite a few of these. So I don't know, he might want to use the faster designs. If you're watching this tutorial, then you might want to go build the Il Mango design, which I might link in the description, if I remember when editing this. Yeah. So this is Redstone Potato, and I'm out. Like, subscribe. If you like these videos that I've been making over the last few weeks, subscribe for more. I'm going to be bringing them out. And if you've got any ideas for redstone contraptions you think I should build, definitely leave those in the comments, okay? Because I could use that. I've been rattling my head around trying to think of some designs that I could build. Leave that in the comments below, and bye bye.